in the Navy SEALs, they basically want to understand how to change the association to fear. So if you're in the SEALs and you're on a special force and you have to act in a certain combative situation, you cannot react to fear the same way a normal pedestrian will, because then you're going to ever get yourself killed or get the people around you in your platoon killed. And so what they study through neurology is, how do we change fear? So we've learned more in the last 5 years about the human brain than we've learned like in the whole entire existence of Earth. And the beauty of what they're learning now is that there is a certain part of our brain they call the second layer, which is where the amygdala is. And that's the control center for fear. So we're hardwired to do fight or flight. So our primal instincts is when fear shows up, protect yourself, shut down. They call it the deer in the headlights. Yeah. We shut down and we try to figure out what we need to do. What happens is that you have the amygdala, which is where the fear connection goes first, and then you have the frontal lobe, which is your brain, intellect, reasoning, and rationalization. Fear communicates to amygdala way faster than it gets to the brain, which is why when we're afraid, we freeze. And that frozen part of our life is until our brain figure out what the hell we're supposed to do. So what they did with the Navy SEALs is they wanted the communication to the amygdala to act faster than the frontal lobe, the intellectual mind, told it what to do. So if you walk up to somebody that knows Kung Fu and you grab, you might be in a situation because their instinct changed. Where if you grab me, I might be like this. Hey, I don't know you. I might look at you like this. Do I know you from somewhere, brother? Why are you over there? So before I know, you done took my wallet, you done snapped my arm, you done took my watch, you done got me before I even know what's happening. And so I'm studying this and I'm watching. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I instinctively conditioned to react when fear shows up in my life, when pain shows up in my life? And how can I rewire that so that it works for me? And the second part to the Navy SEALs that I found fascinating is that the one thing that most people cannot pass in the SEALs part is the underwater submersion. And what they do, they put you underwater and then they attack you. So obviously through the amygdala, your natural instinctive mind is oxygen. We all love to breathe. We take it for granted, but it's a good thing. So when you're submerged underwater and you're being attacked, your natural propensity is to go up and breathe. But as soon as you go up, you fail. So then the wiring is, I need to change what my mind is telling me to do to get to salvation. I need to stay down here and figure out how to deal with this attack while being submerged. Whoa. So when you guys are underwater, this is so good, I'm about to charge myself. When you guys are underwater, when life is submerging you, when life is drowning you, what is your natural instinct to fear? What is your natural reaction to it? Do you shut down? Do you give up? Do you become paralyzed? Do you check out? Do you withdraw? Do you cope? What is your coping mechanism? Is it sex? Is it drugs? Is it bad behavior? Is it bad people? What is it that you do when life is drowning you? And then when you acknowledge and you become aware of what it is that you do and it's not working for you, what can you do to change that wiring? And other people are doing it. I'm not suggesting you guys become Navy SEALs, but you should become a Navy SEAL in your thinking. So look at the program that life has presented to you. Look at what life is showing to you. And then say to yourself, when I'm drowning, this is what I do, and I don't like it. I don't like who I am when the water gets too high. I don't like who I am when I can't breathe. I don't like when I get suffocated. I don't like how I responded. So then you don't say, that's just who I am. You change that. You rewire that. I don't like when they told me no. I don't like when I'm rejected. I don't like when fear. I don't like it. So if you don't like it, then you change it. You change your mentality towards that life. You change your mentality towards whatever that reaction that life is giving you. You change your mentality towards whatever projection life is giving you. Because fear is not real. Danger is. Fear is the false entities appearing real. So when the boogeyman shows up and he wants to suffocate you, he wants to choke the life out of you, what are you going to do to change that? I don't care what you did, anything before this moment, but what can you do right now? How can you tap into that greatness? How can you tap into that willingness? How can you tap into the essence of who you are, the spirited nature, the observer? How do you tap into the observer and say, I am capable of doing this even though I don't feel like I can, even though no one told me that I can? I was watching a documentary on Tyler Perry today.